Hey guys, it's Schmitcoin here with another update for Bitcoin Magazine's Bitcoin Analysis. We'll be briefly talking about the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and spending most of the video today talking about the 4-hour market structure because there's a lot of interesting price activity going on. We're currently in the process of testing this zone of support on the monthly level. We still have a couple weeks left, so nothing terribly insightful here, but as we zoom in, keep an eye out for these monthly levels that I'll keep noted as we zoom in. So here's the weekly view, and then the monthly levels are still in black here, but we can see here that we're currently starting to find a bit of support, fighting for support rather, and yesterday's strong move down wicked through a couple of levels here. So prior monthly level, prior weekly support, and it is currently seeing a nice little bounce. As we zoom in a little closer, we see that we actually came down and tested one of our levels of support right here, and some buying started to kick in here. When we look at the volume profile, we see that the surge into that support was pretty strong. Nothing terribly crazy, we weren't peaking up, making new highs in volume, but it was quite a strong round of selling matched with buying coming in this morning. As we look at the 4-hour structure, that's what I want to focus the majority of our attention on. There is a potential that this entire range that we're seeing here, the range being this blue band of prices here, is a reaccumulation. Despite the fact that we saw this strong move down, we saw a pause here. Basically, for the entirety of yesterday, we saw a strong move down early on in the morning, and it kind of just hung out in this little range here, and it's setting up for a potential spring. You don't need to know anything about the details of trading range analysis. All you need to know is that a lot of times whenever the market is reaccumulating, there's a lot of weak hands that start to accumulate on a ride up. Maybe there's people that are late to the game. They start jumping long here, and they were late rather than jumping long maybe down here or here or here, right? So a lot of times what ends up happening is they set their stop. If they longed anywhere in here, they most likely set their stops right below this guy right here, this swing low. That's a logical place to place stops. And when we see a swing low into a swing high, it's quite common to see the market aggressively come down and hunt out these stops. And what gives me this sort of feeling that we could be setting up a spring is the fact that we shot down and we did not see a continuation of the downtrend. We shot down, we saw a ranging market for 20 hours or whatever it was, and then we slowly drifted back into our trading range. And that's what we see here. We drifted up with a high volume, high spread bar, a nice bullish engulfing candle on our last close here. This guy right here, this big old green candle. And that gives us confidence that sellers are quite possibly exhausted and buyers are about to step in. And what's really nice about this setup is that this high volume move, we can see here that it was a high volume, high spread move, and it's easily getting combated with relatively low volume and high spread. So we can think about this as this is a high effort, high result move, this red candle, and the counterpart to it is a relatively low effort, high result move. We're still feeling out our legs on this current 4-hour candle. We still have an hour at the time of this article, an hour and 20 minutes left on it. So this thing could close anywhere. But what we should really keep an eye out for is a lot of times when we have these high volume springs or shakeouts, a lot of times people call them, because there's such high volume, before real buying steps in, we will often see a retest. That retest can take several forms. It could just retest the bottom of this trading range. It could see another shoved down, and really uncommon cases we can see a new low form. In this sort of situation, I personally wouldn't want to see a new low form. So what I'm looking for is, it should be noted that we don't have to have a retest at all. The market does not have to retest. It could easily just rally from here, but a retest would be a really nice entry if you didn't long below the trading range this morning. A nice re-entry is going to take place right around here, right in this band of prices, right between 94.50 ish and around 96.50 ish, this little level here. And what I really want to see to get higher confidence in a reaccumulation trading range is I want to see this sucker rally up above this yellow band of prices. I want to see this thing come up and find support here. I want to see the bulls show some confidence here. I want to see the bulls on high volume and high spread shove the market up and find support here. This yellow band of prices represents what we would call a preliminary supply, and you can see here that the market was unable to find support here. It shot below it here, found temporary support, shot below it, saw quite a violent move below it, found temporary support, and then on a real retest of it, it failed. It broke support here, retested. So for us to shoot back above and reclaim this support, that would be a very big deal. That would give us a very high confidence that we're actually seeing a more prolonged accumulation, and we're going to see quite possibly a stronger continuation of our uptrend. We'll obviously have to play it by ear, but this high volume, a relatively high volume, high spread move should not be underestimated. There's a lot of people that have been shorting this over the last few days, and the stronger we push this, the more people are going to be liquidated out of their positions. So keep an eye out for a strong, high volume, high spread move, big green candle bars, and if we get that and we get a shove above this level here and we find support, then I think we're in for a real continuation of the uptrend, and quite possibly even going to give us an opportunity to see more growth in the crypto sector as a whole. A lot of people are expecting this to be a strong move to the downside. I don't see a whole lot of people expecting this to continue up. I see a lot of people continuing down, and if we can actually find support here, then I think we're going to see a lot of capital start to rotate between the coins, and we'll see an overall healthy growth in the crypto market. However, if this trading range fails, let's go ahead and talk about what happens there, because we can't just talk about the bull case, right? Because if this trading range setup fails, if the spring fails and we continue downward, what we're looking for is a target is going to be a retest of this trading range here, right around 8,700, between 8,100 and 8,700. That was a strong weekly level. We can see here I have it noted as fresh weekly level, and that seems the next logical place to test if our current trading range fails. But for the time being, I see this as a really nice potential test to the market, and it's reacting really well. So again, keep an eye out for a high spread move to the upside, and this is where we want to find support if you want to see a continuation of our macro uptrend.